G'day, Alex here from Tactical Arbitrage, and in this video we're going to talk about view reverse, columns and column management. Now it does differ from product search a little bit, and it mostly comes down to the two buttons at the bottom of the manage columns section. But before I get into that, let's talk about what the columns entail, what kind of things are in the columns and how we can manage those better. So down here we have a list of the columns that we have. Amazon title, Amazon image, Amazon category, etc., etc., all the Amazon related tasks. We also have the financials. You've got your return after fees, your return after prep and ship. We have other things like your gross profit and gross return on investment. And of course we have all the source information in there as well. Such as, for example, if you're buying from Walmart, your Walmart title, your Walmart image, price, etc. We also have some additional analytic details as well, and if I scroll along here we can see some of those. Things such as the rating, the number of reviews that the product has got. We've also got whether or not the item is currently in stock or not. Now this can of course be affected by cache. For example, if you're running a 5-day cache and the data is a little old, for example, then the item may erroneously say it's in stock and has since during that 5 days gone out of stock. But for the most part, this is a good indicator of whether the item is in stock or not. We've recently added estimated monthly sales. Now this is really cool. For example, this product here sells around 904 units per month. So that's the kind of information you'll need to consider when deciding how many items to buy to populate your FBA store. Now as far as column management goes, if I get into the manage columns section, there's a few things we can do. We can switch columns on and off. So let's say we don't want to see the quantity, or we don't want to see the 90-day rank or the current rank, and we can have full control over which columns we see here. We can also move this stuff around. So like at the moment you can see that Amazon title is on the far left, followed by Amazon image. They're actually switched off. I'll switch those back on. Let me swap title and image. All I do is drag that below this one, release it, and you can see here that they've swapped. You can then save this, and you can come here as well, and you can manually move some of this stuff around. I'll move the quantity over there, the ASIN over here, the product size back over here, and when I check manage columns, my changes will all be reflected on here. So the last two things that we need to discuss are right at the bottom here. We've got set order to RS default, which stands for reverse search, and set order to product search default. Now the reasons behind this are simple. When we very first made, and I'm going to set this to RS default now, and I'll switch everything on except for the keeper graph, because that'll expand the row quite a bit. And I'll save that. Let's have a look at reverse search default. Reverse search, essentially by the nature of reverse, being that we look at the ASIN, the Amazon's ASIN first, and then we examine other stores to find where we can buy this. We've reversed the actual view reverse page. So that means the Amazon stuff is on the left and the source stores are over here on the right. Now, in theory and in practice, it actually works very well. But for those who are very familiar with the view data page, which is the product search repository for storing all of your products to analyze, for those very familiar with the view data page, it could be a little jarring coming to this reverse laid out format. So we found that it's also very useful to have this set order to product search, so that if you prefer to set it like this, it might be more familiar to you. And you can of course cycle backwards and forwards between them. One last thing I'll mention before ending the video is that you may notice that there's some similarities, that you've got all of the same item row after row after row after row. The reason for that is the very nature of view reverse. Let me just set this back to reverse search default and save that. So you'll see that the Amazon product that we were analyzing is this Lego Disney Frozen Arendelle Castle, and that is going to be the same picture all the way down because it is the same product. Now, where have we found that item? We have found that item over here at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, eBay, Fry's, Kmart, Sears, Target, Toys R Us, Jet, Chapters, Indigo, Canada, Farm and Fleet, Fish Pond. So it's in many, many places. So that's why you'll get multiple rows, because reverse search does that. It looks at one ASIN and then it reaches out into our database to find where that product can be purchased from. Now, I ran no filters when I actually did this search, so I don't expect much return on investment on those items. Have a quick scan down there, and really the best place to buy that would be from Walmart. But still, there is not a profit there. Some of these other places, there's even less. Less advantage to buying it. But that's pretty much how Manage Columns works for Review Reverse, and you should be able to explore all the columns and have a good idea of what's in them from that. In the videos to follow, we're going to analyze a lot more detail into what some of these little functions do. The buttons over here, the quantity, the Amazon title, and so forth. I hope you enjoy the video series, and I hope that it makes the View Reverse page nice and simple for you to use. Cheers.